Morning, collective. It's I'm getting a lot of messages this morning. The Spirit had a lot to say. Now, the last few days I've had blockages, but that was for a reason, right? I had messages there, but Spirit has held back those messages for a reason. Okay. I don't know what the reason is, but there's a reason. I had to unclog my phone because I had blockages, but the blockages were definitely there for protection. So rejection is protection, right? Rejection is God's protection. So just remember that, okay? So when these things go down, there's a reason. So Holy Spirit, Holy Ancestors, please reject all negative energy projections. Please give us the messages that are only for the highest good and only from the highest, the most high messages for the collective's highest good. Please protect me and those watching my videos. Protection, please, Spirit. Dissolve in the ether, departicleize, deem ineffective any negative projections or any negative infiltrating messages that cause blockages and doubt and negative impact. Reject, please, Spirit. Dissolve and deem ineffective. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Know that you're protected as a collective, because there's been some pretty full-on messages coming out. All right. Now, I've got some cards on the table here already. Now, this is I got cut out on the last message. I have uploaded it. This is relevant here to the last message. I'll call this one a part 2. So, and on my walk, look, I got this beautiful salt bush here. There's only one bush down close to where I live, so I've got that. I'll use that in my dinner tonight. I'll cook that up with some sweet potato. That goes well. Okay, so what I've got here, I've got some jealousy. Jealousy is here. Now, in the last message, we were talking about water, and this is water wars, right? Water wars, okay? There's a lot of money here at stake. Water and money executed. We have a stock market crash in business. We have NAB in reverse. This is NAB bank. This is a bank in reverse. Now, yesterday I had some issues with my bank. A couple of my bank accounts were locking me out of being able to access, like my I couldn't do any internet banking. I had all sorts of issues yesterday. But see, these were that on its own was a distraction, right? Like, it was like to place fear, and this is why I'm really honing in here for the collective to be very aware of these negative projections, because they're just like little hiccups that there's resolves. There are resolves too, but they're there to throw in a little bit of self-doubt, you know, as to direction, like to give up hope on being able to operate in a sovereign capacity. So these little hiccups thrown in there, we just got to sort of like work through them, get through them, because they are actually thrown in there to throw us off track and to put self-doubt and you know, illusions of like no hope of being able to achieve a sovereign outcome. Okay. So these things are changing, and they're changing quick, but yeah. So even the powers of the banks are changing. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't watch, or I don't keep up with actually what's going on out there in the news. I stick with what I get here, because that way the messages that I get from Spirit, like direct, I'm not tainting it with you know, outside influence. Okay, it's straight out, it's straight from Spirit, and I only ask the Holy Spirit. There's always that danger, I suppose, or threat of other energies can actually come in and interfere with the messages. This is why it's important to stay prayed up and be at one with the Holy Spirit, God, when we're receiving these messages, so that we know and can differentiate between the dark energies and the light energies, because you know, the devil's always out there to trick us, right? So that's what we've got to be aware of. So I don't listen to news. I don't keep in, you know, like I only get my messages here, but that is also a place that can be infiltrated if we're not staying prayed up and keeping the energies cleansed, right? Keeping the space cleansed, keeping the vessels cleansed, and only receiving the messages from the Most High. That's all we're asking for, right? We reject and we rebuke any other negative energies that may want to infiltrate our messages. Holy Spirit, please help us give the collective clear, concise, holy messages of what is from the Most High only. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so here we've got, so we've got a fuckwit. We've turned a fuckwit on his head, whoever that is. So, and I feel that this is what was trying to infiltrate yesterday in my energy and tried to disrupt my energy by making it like, you know, it was almost like a threat to say, well, we can cut your money off at any time. You know what I mean? So it was like a threat of disruption, but it's only surface value. We've got numbers, it's in reverse. So we've got a stock market crash, but we've got numbers in reverse. So it's not like an entire shutdown, if you know what I mean. There's a stock, it is something in particular, and it's a business here. And there's a danger here, a promise. So this is also saying what I was just saying, like numbers. This is only this is numbers in reverse. So it's not like a crash overall. It's singled something out here. And we have a NAB, which is a bank, in reverse. And I feel that that's what this threat was, a threat of danger, right? They're promising a threat of danger, but this is not, it's only surface value. It's like kidnapping. So we got kidnapped with the bank here and business, right? Kidnapping the business, right? The bank, and that was that little threat to say, we can stop you at any moment, right? But no, for the future, it's in reverse. The future is in reverse. So it's like saying we can fuck you up in the future and block you, throat chakra, right? And it came out in the opposite. So they were saying we can shut you up, right? We can kidnap your bank account, basically, and you know, give you no future. That's what they were saying to me. Financial manipulation. It's in the reverse, and this fuckwit, whoever was behind this, and it kept coming out. There was a queen, there was a king of wands, and he was also coming out as an emperor, but he was attached to the devil. So it was the devil and the emperor coming out together. So, and this one has been turned on his head today. So yesterday that came out in the, that came out in the upright, the fuckwit, but now he is turned over on his head. And we've got, and financial manipulation came out in reverse. So the financial manipulation, it was just like a minor threat. So to the collective, it's saying, and this is a hacker, and he's in reverse, right? So it was just a little threat to say, if you don't shut the fuck up, we're gonna shut you down, right? Shut up your throat chakra, keep you quiet, because we can fuck up your business, basically. You know, like, and yeah. But we've got hackers, and then we've got hackers, right? We've got the good hackers and the bad hackers. We've got counter hackers. You can put it like that. We've got a contract in reverse. It came out, so that was like saying we can reverse your contract in any way. Third eye, we can shut down. We got blocked in reverse, no longer blocked, right? And they're saying third eye chakra, we can block it, but no. Yeah, so these are just the threats, right? We've got Daniel here in reverse. Now, this is always, to me, this is Daniel and the Lions. So Daniel and the Lions is, so they're saying we can reverse that, and kind of like, you know, so this is the collective sort of like being there in amongst the lions, and being protected, right? See, they've brought him out here. This is these dark energies. They brought him out here in reverse to say you are not protected, but that's a lie, right? This is a deception, because Daniel is protected by God, right? Completely. And you know, like like for me personally, there was those threats of shutting us down, but this morning I got a phone call, and I got a message through to somebody who is on the right side of things, right? So there's a counter hacker as such. Kraken in reverse. So this is he's in reverse now, right? So this is turning this fuckwit here in reverse. So the Kraken, those that lurk in the dark, right? Lurking in the dark was this Kraken monster, right? But it's turned over in reverse. The false person is in reverse. So this false person was exposed. There's an employment agency in reverse. So this also is a message to, you know, like that threat of, you know, the collective and people in general, because this is what they were threatening here was the shutdown of the bank and the shutdown of the employment agencies that provide help for people that are unemployed. And we've got solar plexus. So this was a threat to the collective to say that they have the power to shut down the solar plexus, somebody's creativity, with this employment agency support for the collective or the masses, I'm getting, to rise up, because that's the key, right? Like, there's a lot of money, so I keep seeing this, a lot of money. And so this is what the minor threat is, because this is where I'm seeing this stock market crash, is that those agencies being taken out, or they threaten to take out those support systems for the masses. And so this is what the threat was. It's like saying, you shut up, otherwise you will have no supports and your banks will be shut down. You know, you won't be able to get help from any agencies. You will have no future. We will shut off your throat chakra. We will stop you from speaking out about this. But this is only because this is with numbers here in reverse. This promise of danger is a fallacy, because we've got other partnerships here. Okay, they're coming through. They're coming through. Okay, so Spirit's saying, collective, not to let those fears override the situation as to direction, and don't let the fears, don't let the fear of lack to infiltrate the mind, okay? Because it's those fears that make these things work, right? They know this. It's the fear of lack, the fear of not having, the fear of hunger. And that's for everything, right? But remember that God provides. But the protections here are very, very important for the resources here. So my last message, it was about protecting the resources, namely water. So, and I just heard human resources protection. So a while back, quite a few years ago now, you know, like with the Trans-Pacific partnerships, those partnerships were introducing a lack of protection for environment, health, and human resources. And the protections were shifted to, I don't know why I'm getting this now, but I'm getting it. The protections were shifted to only e-commerce protection. So anything supported by the authorities was all to do with, like, if something doesn't generate actual physical economic value, those protections will be taken away, and that means like healthcare protections, food protections, you know, like the safety laws and whatnot for food. So it allowed an opening for the poisoning of food. You know, I mean, we know this happened in the early days when the agenda was to clear out those communities that were not wanted within a society, and they used like they use tactics of water poisoning, or like stopping people from being able to access water, and putting poison into, like, making people dependent on flour and sugar and tobacco, that kind of stuff. But in the flour, like in the early days here, they put clay, I think, in the flour, and like either arsenic and shit like that to get rid of the people, basically. So this sort of tactics are still here, and because of those laws, so the protection laws of the food were taken out, and also the environment. So if something was going to affect the economic value of any type of industry, that was the only part that was protected, was the economic value, and not the human value or health value, environmental value. Any of those values were are secondary to economic. Okay. So if it didn't generate money, it's like, like with the farms and whatnot, like that, like the authorities taken power, through natural resource management, to manage the farms. So like, like people, it was like in the early days, people had to gain a property, it had to be cleared by a certain amount of time, and you had to produce certain, like whatever they wanted you to produce, even if it's not environmentally sound or whatever. And this is still going on, and like they monitor the the farm owners and whatnot, to what they do on their properties. So you can't own a property, so you'll be pushed out, forced out, if you don't comply with what it is they want you to grow, or what it is, if it's not economically bringing in money. Like, say, if you buy a property and you want to revegetate it and bring it back to a natural state or something, that is not allowed, because like you'll be pushed out. They monitor what's going on any farm, as to what the practices are on the properties. So I mean, even like for a farmer to have a dam, like they were bringing in laws and taxes to the water on somebody's own property. You know what I mean? So it's that whole resource management for the entirety of a country or the world, because we're talking about global economics here. This is a global thing, and these things are all been put in place through the world leader organizations. But detrimental to community value. And really, like, in the end of the day, the environmental value and human health in different regions. So it's like different regions will be sacrificed. There'll be, now the human sacrifice is to sacrifice the health of a group of people, so certain areas have been targeted that have got a lot of resources to control and to take those resources, and then they will be then taken to another part of the world to be processed or whatever. So it's a sacrifice of specific areas. You see what I'm saying? Whereas if a community is just looking after a community and they're not sort of like outsourcing resources or like trading between countries or whatever, if a community chooses to be sovereign and keep their resources for that particular place, this is how it's supposed to be, right? You live within your means, within your resource capacity, and you use those wisely to sustain oneself. So that is like the decentralized sort of way, whereas what's going on with the global the globalists is that the whole planet is using those resources. So this is the world leaders making deals with what's going on in everybody's country or community as to how those resources are going to be distributed, rather than that decentralized way where people just look after themselves in their own space, right? That's going back to the self, going back to one, going back to where you belong, you know what I mean? And using the resources there, rather than the globalists that will go over to another country and take the resources and put it in their backyard, you know what I mean? Because they're just over consuming and not using their resources, or not living within their means. They're not using their resources wisely. And so they are, and with the AI and using robots for everything, they don't need to have all that human resources anymore. So there's no point in keeping the human resources. You see what I'm saying? And so these people that have that power, that are in those power groups, are dictating who lives and who doesn't. Who is needed and who's not. Who's useful and who isn't. All right, and this is what they did, like in the early days when they, like the colonialists, like they would go to somebody's country where people were living sustainably in their own space, right? And then, they knew how to live with the land and that kind of thing, and they were been like that for thousands of years, right? So it was sustainable, right? And then when the colonialists took over, they would isolate the people from accessing their water, springs and stuff like that. So that was sort of like the first movement, was to shut people off from being able to access their own resources, and that's a tactic, and this is still the tactic. I lost where I was going with that. Spirit, come on, come through. I kept getting this message about this cave, and it's interesting because it came through the bank yesterday. A cave and a bank. And, I visited, a few months ago, I visited this place, and there's a cave. and I did a reading there, and got the message about how, like, and this is going back to settlement time, and how they extracted the batshit that was in the cave, and the indigenous people that were from that area, they warned them, right, not to do that because it would release a demon. Now that demon, what happened was, because this cave was connected to a huge water basin that covered a whole lot of ground, and like that water was fed a lot of sustained a lot of tribes and people around the place, and they were warned from that community to not extract that batshit, because they took the batshit out to actually put on their farms for the phosphorus, right? And the indigenous people there, they warned them, and they said, don't take it because you'll release a demon. And so what happened was when they dug into it, it contaminated that groundwater, and that covered a huge area that took out a lot of people, because it they infected the water with the batshit, and it caused disease. And I think, I'm not too sure, but one of the people that was like the advocates, the person that was like pushing for it, that person in particular actually came down sick and passed away. I'm just getting this message. I don't know that story. Anyway, so this message is about that sovereign states as like the human sovereign states to be protected, the water to be protected, because of the extractions that the and for here, the extraction of those water resources, but also like the minerals from the ground to be taken somewhere else for processing, is that threat here, right? This is really, really strong messages I've been getting for the last message I did, and this message is really at the forefront of the messages at the moment, is the protection of the water, the groundwater. Okay, so let's pull some more cards here. Let's start with the sacred destiny, right? Yeah. Ooh, sorry. Blessings, blessings, blessings. See, this is how it was. The world with all these blessings, these natural resources, the water, right, brings life to the earth. And if that water is extracted from the ground and taken somewhere else, then that ground is going to pass away. And we can see it in the caves, the collapse of the caves. So we've got purity, we want pure water. Wisdom needs to be used. The purity, the pure water needs to be used with wisdom. We have healing chaos. See, that kind of came up upside down. So this is causing chaos in our environment because of these actions that are taken by those that want to control all these resources. What else we got here, Spirit? Oh, that's too much. Please, simplicity. See, this simple lifestyle of the way it was, like, and not this is the problem, right? Is that people have worked so hard to destroy what God provided and try to make it better. This is the understanding of the devil, right? The devil wanted to destroy what God made because he thought he could make it better. So this is the point, right? Living simply with the ground. For thousands of years, people lived with the planet as God created it, right? Because that was the Garden of Eden. But when the devil come in, that devil energy wanted to control and try and make things better. So they would extract everything and disrupt everything and then try to put it back together again better than God can. And because it's that constant need for comfort. Comfort was comfort was a big aspect here in the communities. Like this desire to, like this is how it was. Like in simplicity, it was relaxed. You got your food and handed to you because it was already in place because God had it. But because the devil wanted to, it's the Cain and Abel scenario. The devil was jealous of what God created and how he could manifest any life, right? And that's where Cain was jealous, and killed Abel and so this is, Cain and Abel is the devil and God, right? Abel was God, the creator, because he was able to create, and Cain was the one who he was a murderer, right? That was the devil. He was destructive, and so then banished to have to till the earth and work really hard, like constantly, because they were he was taken out of the Garden of Eden. And so the devil energy, which is the Cain energy, has had to, and this is why work, right? The slave mentality and the lack mentality comes from, is that nothing's ever good enough. You know what I mean? It's not good enough how God created it. We got to be able to make ourselves more comfortable and more prosperous. So there was an illusion, though, right? It's an illusion. And so Indigenous people were persecuted for not using the resources and, labelled lazy, but they didn't realise that they were, at peace with what God already provided, so they could kick back and relax and just allow God to nourish them. Because they were at one with God, because you have to have that stillness, that relaxation, to be able to receive God's messages on how one sustains themselves and how to manifest directly with the messages that come from the Holy Spirit, God, right? So these are our creators in our communities, they're those that are, you have to sit still to receive the messages of creation from God, It's not like saying that you are God yourself, but we are one with God. So he allows us and gives us the messages to know how to create without being destructive. And that's using one's resources wisely. This is a pretty full-on message, and that is simplicity. The simpler, the better. But you know, like the devil energies have worked so hard in creating these businesses and all these ways of, you know, like trying to make things better than what God can do. They've complicated everything. You know what I mean? Whereas life was simple. It was just, you know. But because the devil energies were all about the power, you know, they wanted the power to control everything and everyone. So the devil energy wanted to control everything that God created. But they can't be God because it's God's creation, right? So the devil energy trying to be God could never be God because they have the resources that they're using to try and be God comes from God. You see what I'm saying? So God has created the original resources for us to live with, to sustain ourselves. But the devil takes what God created and then tries to destroy it to recreate it in another way. But it's not original, right? They have to take it from God's resources that God made, destroy it to rebuild it. You know, it makes no sense, right? This is fucking stupid. Stillness. So if we're still within our environments and not want to control everything, we can trust in God that everything is, we're provided for, right? It's unnecessary to complicate things the way that the devil has. And we find these messages coming down. See all these orbs or light here coming down because this swan is still. It's not rushing around. It's not chasing the dollar. It's not trying to fix everything. It's just stillness. And that way they can receive naturally from God. And they can and this swan here can just flow. Right? She's flowing and just drifting on the water. Picking up a feed here and a feed there, you know what I mean? Just without, and being directed by the Holy Spirit on where to obtain that sustenance. You see? Without this rushing around and trying to do better than everyone else. That's jealousy. That's envy. That's wanting, right? You know, God says we shall not want. Well, you know, we don't because it's already provided for. But the devil works so hard at destroying everything so they can control everything and, you know, dam the rivers and redirect the water and, you know, like fucking everything, right? Move one mountain to the other side of the planet. So it's this deconstruction to reconstruct. You know, that's trying to control God. Wow, this is one hell of a message, Spirit. Yeah, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's have a look here with the Aboriginal Healing Oracle here, because this is about, you know, the resources. Let's see what comes out with this. Holy Spirit, Holy Ancestors, what do you got for us? What else do we need to know? What else does the collective need to know at this time? I'm really, really enjoying this message. Ellen, compassion. Compassion. 27. And that's a 9. So this is... that was the message that I had this morning as well. The compassion, and with the number 9 here, is an ending, right? It's the end of a cycle. And with compassion, I'm feeling that this is what Spirit's talking about, is that the devil worked very, very hard to end compassion, end that care, you know what I mean? So that they can have the power over the masses with no compassion. They wanted to end compassion. They wanted to end love. Because if you end care and love, because love comes with care, right? It's caring about the environment, caring about the person next to you. You know what I mean? And caring, that's it, right? Caring about the people next door, caring about your neighbour, caring about yourself, caring about what God made. Having that compassion for all those things. But this is what the devil wanted, to end that, and ending that compassion. That pure of heart. The pure of heart were attacked. And mostly they use sex magic to do that. You know what I mean? The challenge, or the wombat. The chomp, what am I saying? The chomp, the challenge, the chomp, whatever that is. And we have the wombat here who lives deep within the earth. You know, he digs his burrows with the earth. And that's the challenge. For 24 is a 6. A 6 is balance. 6 is balance with the earth, and having compassion with the earth is wisdom. That's where the true wisdom comes from. Living with what we have rather than trying to turn it into something else. The wombat lives within the earth, with the earth. Wisdom, and using the water wisely. Wisdom and water. We had the pelican. The pelican's shown up here, and he's in reverse. Oh, this is everything. Am I just got all these upside down or what? No? No. The pelican has come out in reverse. Now the pelican is security. But it's in reverse, right? The pelican comes out as security. Being able to take those, and that's that entrepreneurial energy that I've spoken about before, you know, like the pelican can harvest, you know, like in a big scoop, and then that sustains them for quite some time. And there's security in that, you know, like taking things at the right time, you know, the right season, and, you know, like using it wisely by, you know, like throwing back the smaller fish and just taking the larger ones, you know, things like that. But see, this is in reverse, and this is where the wisdom is, the security has left us, because the devil has worked very, very hard to create an unsustainable world by destroying what God already provided us, to recreate it in their own way, because our pelican is in reverse here, and this is where we lose our security. Healing chaos. So it's created chaos within our environment, you know what I mean? Here's the wombat again, and he's come out in reverse because it's not living with what God's provided. It's not living with the earth. It's not balanced. It's not a balanced. It's not living with the earth, within the earth, because the wombat goes within the earth, and he lives with what he's got. He lives with the security of what God provides in the earth, the security of what God provides within the earth, God's promise, I just said. So for us to have faith and live with what God provides, it's God's promise to sustain us, right? But the devil just has caused so much destruction. It's made it difficult for people to embrace God, because the devil has worked so hard to complicate things and destroy what God provides. And this is why those that live independent are attacked so much. You know, I've heard people in leadership roles and, you know, part of the, law enforcement and stuff like that, you know, being really, really angry at people, you know, like at people for wanting their sovereignty. You know, they call them sovereigntists. I can't say it properly. Sovereigntists, you know, people who want to be sovereign. Simplicity. The native geranium release. Release. This one wanted to come out too. Acceptance. Alinta. And that's number 6 as well. That's balance, right? Alinta. Release and acceptance is here. Releasing. This is releasing all that we don't need, because, you know, this is the other thing that, the devil has made us, turned us into hoarders, and, like it's that squirrel thing, you know, where they get all the nuts because, you know, well, they got to because of the winter, right? That's actually a wise thing to be doing. But what I'm talking about is like hoarding stuff, and that's the lack mentality thing that God's not going to provide. It's like, mine, you know, it becomes that selfish mine nature, and that's lack mindset, that they have to have everything for themselves and not share because, you know, they're going to run out. But see, that's not having faith with the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit always provides if things are in balance with nature. That's natural law, right? So accepting that and releasing all that is what's been hoarded, and allow that, embrace the giving as well and the sharing, and knowing that God's going to provide more, and you don't, you know, like that. You don't have to worry. You've got to have that flow, right? And you know, like money is not a bad thing. It's an energy. So, you know, you've got to actually spend money to make money. So you've got to keep that flow happening and get the giving to receive. Give, receive, right? Friendliness. And this comes with friendliness, you know, not this war, fighting over the resources, and that's the lack mentality that there's never going to be enough. And this is what we've been programmed with you know, sustainability promotion and lack mentality, that there's not going to be enough, we're going to run out of resources. But God is self-perpetuating, you know, like the earth, if it's respected and nurtured, and it's self-perpetuating, it doesn't run out, you know. But what did the devil do? Cut down all the trees so we have less water, and now we've got to panic about not having enough water. Poisoning the underground systems with phosphorus and salt, because they wipe the trees out. And then, you know, everybody knows that the trees are there to for precipitation, to create more water. But no, they wanted to control that too with the clouds. Now they cloud seed, and then they put all sorts of other fucking shit in there to poison us. You know what I mean? But see, with this friendliness here in the kookaburra, it's like it's sharing it's sharing the energy. It's friendly, you know. It's not combative. It's not fighting every step of the way. It's sharing and guiding and, you know, like helping and nurturing. It's love. So for, you know, like for the devil, what did he do? He caused the hatred. He caused the fear. He caused the lack mentality, so that we fight amongst each other, that there's never going to be enough. But God created the earth to be everlasting. But the devil says, no, this is wrong. We've got to hoard everything. We've got to hate each other and kill off them because there's too many of them. So we fear that group over there is becoming too many people. So let's kill them so that we can have more resources for ourselves. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's been very emotional at the moment, I'm feeling it. Just because we're speaking about this, right? And I felt that down the river today, you know, like when I finished getting the messages down there, and I stepped away, and then I got the message, and then they told me I was embraced by them. But because we're speaking about it, right? Spirit's urging the collective, those that listen, to nurture the resources, not to allow the lack mentality of the devil to make us fight amongst one another for resources. That there'll be enough if we use the resources wisely and protect the water, because the Water brings life with the air and the earth and the fire managed correctly. Not in these big raging fires that the devil has created by not allowing us our small fire. Each and every one of us should be allowed a small fire, a small passion. Because from that fire, that small passion, we are fertile. Because we add water to it and we can grow. The seed uses the fire and the water to germinate in the earth and is moved with the air when that seed grows, and the air then blows those seeds over the earth, and then those small fires that we use to cook our food and keep our warmth will germinate that seed when the water is added. Stand still, Spirit says. Stop running around and chasing the tail, because it's right here. We have it all. We just need to use it wisely. Because the devil has created this situation where now the next manifestation from the devil is to burn in huge hellfires. And they're creating this with so-called sustainability processes. Where they have prevented every individual from being able to sustain themselves with a small fire and a bit of water. They've hoarded it all into one big area to create a hellfire. You see what I'm saying? And these are written in the scriptures. But see, the scriptures also are a manifestation of the devil. What is written shall come to pass. That's what they say. It's written, so therefore it is. Is this what we want to create? Is this what we want to manifest? Armageddon, that's the end. That's the devil. The meek shall inherit the earth, Spirit says. So the meek that inherits the earth is that person that has that little fire, that little passion, the bit of water, so they can grow their own and not have to have vast amounts of land to to take from them for themselves. Wow. Honesty is here. Spirit says this is the honest truth. Stand still. Spirit says stand still. Bracken fern is in reverse. Irritation, and that's in reverse. Irritation, and that was what I was getting this morning, The irritation I was feeling from the Holy Spirit and the ancestors. Well, the ancestors are the Holy Spirit, that part of the Holy Spirit, right? That part of God. The irritation here is in reverse. Stand still, Spirit says. This is standing your ground. And Spirit says not to flee because of irritation, because of the feelings that the devil is putting in one to irritate, to it's the energy that, you know, like is putting groups up against each other, causing irritations that person will attack another, and that's actually a tactic to depopulate, because they want them to take each other out. So we have what is it, Al Gore's unfortunate truth, saying the population is too big, therefore we need to because of sustainability we need to actually depopulate. That's not it. That's not no. So Spirit is saying not to be irritated by one another, but to work together to restore balance, right? Because we're all here. There's going up against each other to take each other out. That's not what Spirit wants, because that is destructive. That's going the way of the devil to that's hate and irritation. Spirit's turning this over and he's saying, be still and be wise. This spoonbill here and standing still in this still water, that is to receive the messages from the Holy Spirit. This is the wise man here. Not to be irritated, but to be still. Don't flinch. Don't become aggressive. Don't get erratic. Erratic energy. And that's what I was getting when I was down the river today, that agitation. There was a meeting, the birds flocked over and they were all flocking to one area to have this meeting, and it was a war cry. Spirit says, no, stop, be still. Do not be irritated by your neighbour. Do not be irritated. Just be calm. The kangaroo use one's intuition. Now, I said in my earlier post, prior to this one, in my dream, the kangaroo was there last night, and he was fleeing. He was the big red one, just like him, and 18, significant here. So 9, that's end. So by fleeing and because God's saying, be still, don't run, don't flock with those birds that were all fleeing to cause war, right? Spirit was saying, and this is what happened in the dream, because the kangaroo was fleeing and I went, stop, wait, don't go. And he did, he stopped. But still, in that dream, that was the big kangaroo. He was fleeing. Then he stopped because he listened. He stood still and heeded God's message here. Do not be irritated by the messages of hatred. Thank you. be irritated by one another. Trust. Spirit says trust. Be still. Stillness. Stand still. Trust. Do not be irritated by those that are coming together to wage war, to fight for resources. Spirit says there's enough. There's enough. Pull back and be still. Wait. Just wait. The growth, chickweed is in reverse. The growth has stopped. But just wait. Okay. One more here, please, Spirit. One more. Kangaroo plum. In reverse. Honesty. Honesty. It's in reverse. And this is what Spirit's saying. These leaders are not being honest here. They're collecting the resources for themselves, only to depopulate the masses, because they're just working on relying on AI, artificial intelligence, and manual labor. But see, the machines using AI and manual labor cause the use of more resources, because to actually create those machines, it takes lots of resources from the earth. You see? So to take the human resources out and use the machine, that is going to run out, that's going to use up everything very fast, because their machines are very, very big, right? Because it's all about creating more of the economic value means nothing in the end. But that's what these powers, these so-called leaders that are there running to wage war, and that was all those flocks going to that meeting, right? Talking about the sustainability and the fear of the overpopulation in humanity, who are human resources, natural resources. Humans are natural resources too, right? We're at one with the earth. But to take the human resources out of the equation and use the AI, the machine, it's not sustainable. But they're saying that this is what's going to sustain us. See, that's the deception. They're being dishonest. Honesty's in reverse. And they're all working from their root chakras with this red here. This is lust and succubus incubus energy, that it's vampire energy that's sucking the resources but you see, that's the problem with these energies, is they just suck on more resources, and that's what the AI future is. To a degree, I'm not saying that AI is a bad thing, but it's given too much power, right? and it's become unsustainable. But because to create all these machines to do everything for us is what's sucking on all the resources. So this is that vampire energy, incubus, succubus energy that is greedy, right? It's greed, because the only ones that benefit, and in the long run they won't benefit either, because they've forgotten that they're human and they need the resources that the machines are going to gobble up. And I mean, this is continuously promoted in movies and things like that. We've, you know, it's to program us to think that that's the only way to go, and that we're going to accept Armageddon, and that, you know, we're going to have the machine take over. And who's going to be able to afford to go to Mars with Elon Musk? How silly is that? Why don't we look after this planet here that we've got, what God provided, rather than thinking that we've got the power to go and create something somewhere else? It's like, look after what you have here at this moment, and if we're gracious and grateful for what we have in the moment, we'll look after that, and we'll nurture it and nourish it, to then be able to, you know, it's growing the seed, right? But, you know, chasing after this lustful, and this is why the devil creates this lustful energy to want all the luxury and you know, and the sex and all that's promoted on, you know, money and sex is what's promoted on, because that's working out of the root chakra. That's that lustful energy for the material, as well as, you know what I mean? And that's taken the love out of, taking the love out of it. By taking the love out of it, then it just becomes destructive. And that's what's been promoted on the visuals and in the industries, is that lust for more. It's the lust for more, the promotion of greed. So what we need to be promoting is a care and love for what we already have. So gratitude for the small things, like sustainable water, the tree that grows, the flowing clean water in the river, the rain, clean rain, not the rain, poison rain that we get now, because they're controlling that too, right? Geoengineering. Don't think it's not a thing. It's you know, that was the devil's need to control everything, right? But see, if we have gratitude for what God has already provided us, then we will care for it, we will nurture it, we will live with, and that's sustainable. So anyway, okay. So I might just finish off with a little bit of something, some messages, okay, from the angels and our demon spirits. So here we've got the balance with the angels and the demons, right? That's a balance of the two. That's the yin and yang of things. Okay, what are the messages from our angels? Holy Spirit, what else have we got here? Moving forward sustainably. Elahaya, I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry. Elahaya. Well, I can't pronounce your name properly. It says, victory will occur soon. The courage must first be found within yourself. You see? And that is the courage to be not following this route of the devil, because that's the masses. That's those, all them birds running to that meeting to wage war on one another. Spirit says, stop. Stand still. Amayo. It says, have patience. Yeah, see? Stop and have patience. Today, your focuses should be production and creation. There we go, see? Small scale. Yes, that'll be me today. Rahel. Devote some time to your children. See, this is the other thing. People with children, give them time and patience, parents and grandparents. Share the energy of familial love. Yeah. So that's caring for one another, right? It's the simplest love. Appreciating each other, not fighting with each other, and like fighting for one another's energy, being jealous and all that sort of shit. What else is here? Love each other, care. Mahaya. Do you remember last night's dream? Ahaya was trying to pass a message through them. So Spirit is saying, there's messages in the dreams, so pay attention, collective. Pay attention to your dreams. Yeah. For me, I had that kangaroo, and stop. Okay, what's from the demons? What's the counter energy? Belial. It says, you must sometimes sacrifice a little to receive a lot. There's a greater glory waiting for you. So, and that is that the sacrificing of like what those are lusting for, sacrificing that need to be on the grab, it's letting go. It's letting go, right? Accepting what God has given us at this time. And then there will be a greater, more abundance in the future, because we need time to let the ashes fall to the ground and the seed to germinate with that water to grow into something bigger and better. So this is the rising phoenix type thing, where we let things fall and fall to the ground in the ashes, and for that seed to grow when the water is added. Glory be to God is just what I heard. Astroth. And that glory to be to God is what God will provide. Resist temptations, be rewarded with hidden treasures. See, that is that resistance. Resistance. The resisting the urges, resisting the desires, resisting that carnal nature. It's pulling back and going without for a little bit. You know what I mean? Because what will be received. So going without a little bit, and that's also like like taking some of those resources you have and sharing with another, even if it means that you will go without for a little bit or you will have less. You give to another so that they can have the ability to grow as well. And then God will provide more, because that's the flow. That's the flow of things, the equal give and take. You got to spend money to receive money. Rahel. Oh. Paimon. Doubts will be eliminated, replaced by knowledge and the crown of wisdom. What was I saying? Be still and you shall receive. Be still, Spirit says. Stand still. Trust in the Holy Spirit. Trust. And then you will receive. So this is the stillness. Again, see all these messages coming down from the Holy Spirit? It will tell us when we are still, so that we can receive the wisdom of which way to go, which way to grow, which way is the wind blowing today. Spirit will tell you where to plant the seed and protect it from the winds. Pay attention to your vision and thoughts. Doubt will be eliminated. Don't doubt in the Holy Spirit what He is showing you. Don't doubt those downloads. Being still to receive that information. And not to be rushing around, because when you're rushing around chasing the one's desires and pleasures and wanting for more, stop. Allow Spirit to show you the visions on how to receive naturally, alongside natural law. Belith. Belith brings love and music. Love and music. So sit back, enjoy the caring and love with your people and music, and like playing music, and raise the vibration of those around you. Focus your mind on the calculations of your heart and stop wasting time. So, and there's the deception, right? Like, stop wasting time chasing your tail and desires when you can just pull back and receive and give care and love to one another, play some music together, raise the vibration of the heart. The heart space is the caring space. Instead of fear. Fear of not having enough and rushing and pushing the next person out of the way because you think you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? Like what I'm saying is, like when, they have those big sales or something at the end of the year, and people rushing into the the big supermarkets and whatnot, and pushing each other out of the way because they want to get that object or whatever the fuck it is, and they're pushing people out of the way, and like hurting each other and that, just to get whatever the fuck. Whereas if you just pull back and take your time, God provides everything. It's wasting time chasing. Running around. Thinking there's going to be something better all the time. Fear of missing out. Fear of not having enough. Be grateful for what you got at this time, and then Spirit will bless and, you know, bring a surprise. It's having faith, right? But purity is the key. Purity of mind. Hear that crow? Confirmation. Relax. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. It was a nice ending, right? I feel really peaceful and relaxed now. And that crow is actually giving me this message has actually given me a really at peace type of energy. Yesterday was different. Yesterday I actually fell victim to the negative energies. I think say fell victim, or yeah, kind of like that, you know, like because I allowed the negative energies to affect my mood. Yeah, I did. But I woke up this morning, totally got this message. Thank you, Spirit. So I'll leave it there, and please, everybody, have a lovely day. Please like, share, and subscribe to help me in the algorithms. And, you know, if you'd like to donate, you can go to my PayPal link and donate that way. That's the only way I've got at the moment. So I've released a blockage overnight, and got a message this morning, so I don't think it'll be long where I will be receiving. Yeah. Okay. So I'll leave it there, and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.